When is this all going to be over?
Vodka.com for $3 million. Looking for a normal job in 2020 is like being a cave person.
Hola friends, I'm Peter Nasonov and I'm here to help you live your best life, even in these conditions. I know, isolation is tough for a number of reasons. I'm going to name 3 big ones that contribute to our anxiety and stress. First and foremost, it's uncertainty. When is this all going to be over? The answer is, we don't have a clue. We don't even know when the social distancing measures are going to be relaxed, let alone the opening of the parks, gyms, cinemas, and theaters. A couple weeks ago, they expected to reopen Broadway yesterday. Instead, yesterday we learned that Broadway will remain closed at least until June. We have to keep holding our breath. On top of the general uncertainty, a big stress factor, especially for those of us who wasn't making a lot of money or didn't have substantial savings, is not knowing where from we're going to get those money to pay the bills or even to eat. For some of us, it's that bad. And if you're one of them, here's what I have to say. Hang in there. In this video, I'll provide information about how you can make money without leaving your house to support yourself in these difficult times. Hopefully, that will bring some relief. And the last major source of stress is knowing just how many people are losing this fight against the virus every single day. This is a collective suffering and there is no way to completely avoid it, but there are definitely steps you can take to help yourself deal with it. I'll talk about those in the future videos. For right now, let's focus on addressing the money issue. This is going to be the foundational video. As I said, I'll cover several ways of making money from the comfort of your home, but because this is the first video on the topic, I want to approach it from the bird's eye view, so you have a solid understanding of the big picture, and then we can talk specifics. As you can imagine, with the birth of the internet, people started making money off of it. I remember one of the first ways to make money online that I discovered was coming up with cool domain names, registering them, and then selling for a higher price. Simple buy and sell. I'm sure you know what a domain name is, but just in case, it's the name of the website that you type in the address bar to go on that website, like youtube.com is a domain name, usa.gov is another domain name, and so on. On August 9th, 1995, everything changed and the internet craze began. That was when the small internet startup called Netscape went public. By the end of the first day of trading, the company was valued at nearly $3 billion. The ensuing gold rush is now known as the dot-com bubble. Here are some numbers to make it tangible for you. Domainfly.com was sold to Travelzoo in January of 2009 for $1,760,000. Vodka.com for $3 million. Porn.com, $9.5 million. Hotels.com, $11 million. Sex.com, that's right, $13 million. Voice.com was sold less than a year ago on June 18, 2019 for $30 million. Business.com, that's out of this world number, was sold for a whopping $345 million. However, this particular purchase didn't bring much luck to the buyer, who 2 years later declared bankruptcy. Of course, there are many more and I can keep going on and on, but I'll wrap up with an interesting one. On December 9th, 2018, Elon Musk tweeted, buying Tesla.com took over a decade, $11 million, and an amazing amount of effort. Domain names are still considered a wise investment, even after all the good ones are taken. Do you want to get into the business of registering and selling the domains? It's up to you, of course. I personally wouldn't, not my cup of tea. And most certainly not the only opportunity to make good money online. I think there are way more interesting and fulfilling ways to do it, especially if you care about the purpose and the meaning as much as you care about the money. Let me remind you that the dot-com race started in 1995. That's 25 years ago. You were a baby, or perhaps weren't even born when people were making big bucks on the internet. If you're still thinking that online money making is rocket science for tech-savvy people who are good with the internet and the devices, you better upgrade your beliefs. Because looking for a normal job in 2020 is like being a cave person. With the explosion of e-commerce, see, if this word has just intimidated you, then I'm gonna put it simply. E-commerce is just selling stuff online. Think Amazon. And with the explosion of social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, in the last 10 years, the business has shifted to the internet. That's where the transactions, the money, and the opportunities are. Nowadays, there are no successful companies making good money that don't have a website at the very minimum. And if they're smart, on top of the website, they also have a robust online presence. Heck, even cats and dogs have their personal websites and Insta pages. All of that is not intended to make you feel ancient or intimidated, but rather serve as a wake-up call. Realize one thing: being a digital dinosaur today means going extinct tomorrow. There are countless, literally countless ways to make money online. In order for you to get a better grasp of how it can be done, I'm gonna paint with broad strokes, and if this topic resonates with you, I can get into more details and tactics in the future videos. I came up with 5 categories, starting from the arrangements that are closest to traditional job to more independent and innovative ways of making money. Number 1, to make money online, you can be a corporate employee who works remotely from home. I have a friend who used to work from Bloomberg just like that. He did have to show up at the office a few times a week, but for the most part, he was working remotely and had a somewhat flexible schedule. Nowadays, many big corporations have 100% remote jobs where you don't need to show up at the office at all, aside from some special occasions. Other than that, you're working from home or a coffee shop or a park when they reopen, right? I will leave the links in the blog post that goes along with this video with companies that are hiring right now as I'm recording. One important remark: even if you're hard pressed for money, please don't just apply anywhere and everywhere. First of all, desperation is palpable. And second, at the very least, you gotta agree with the company's mission, values, and what it represents. You don't need to be over the hills in love with it, although that should be the case with the next options I'll be covering. Make sure you believe it's a good company to work for. Hopefully I'm preaching to the choir here and all of these things are obvious to you. It would be best if you find a company in a position that genuinely interests you. There are hundreds and even thousands of openings, so make sure you research thoroughly and do not settle for mediocrity. Ever. If you are one of the lucky ones and still got your job, after all of this is over, you should speak to your boss and try to convince him or her to work from home a couple days per week. Why? Plenty of reasons, and I'll reveal the biggest one shortly when we get to option 5, so stick around. Next, option number 2, you can be a remote employee for an online business. This is the next generation of businesses that have emerged in the last 20 or so years, and every year new virtual startups come onto market. Unlike remote corporate jobs, these companies usually allow you way more flexibility with your schedule, to a point when at times you're allowed to work as much or as little as you wish. I'll give you an example. One of the very well-established companies in this category is called VIP Kid. They provide English teaching services for Chinese kids. The company has been around for over 6 years now, and I've heard a lot of great things about them. People who work for them make up to $22 per hour. There is an abundance of videos on YouTube from teachers who have worked for VIP Kid. Check those out if you're interested in this path. You can find answers to any questions, starting from the requirements and the hiring process, to how you can work and how much you can potentially make, to even examples of lessons that others are teaching. It's all in there. Next up, option number 3. You can work online independently for yourself. See what we're doing here? Not for a company, but for yourself. Here are some fun statistics. US workforce population is around 165 million people, and around 57 million of those perform some type of freelance work. That's every 3rd person. What exactly a freelancer is? According to Wikipedia, it's a person who is self-employed and is not necessarily committed to a particular employer long term. Freelancers usually work independently or use websites to get work. Among the most popular sites to find gigs are freelancer.com, upwork.com, and fiverr.com. Of course, there are a bunch more. Google is your friend. In a nutshell, those sites act as online marketplaces where freelancers can offer their services and get hired for a gig, or make offers to businesses who posted ads for particular services they need. Let's say you can proofread texts. You can go on one of those sites, find gigs that are looking for proofreaders, and offer your services. I used to work as a freelancer for quite a few years, and here's my take on it. You can definitely earn decent living. Enough for bread and butter and even caviar if you have good self-discipline. But it is not an easy path at all. To me, a freelancer is synonymous to self-starter, and you cannot overestimate the challenges that come with that. Yes, if you choose this option, you ultimately make your own decisions about when to work, what kind of projects to take on, how much to charge. But from my personal experience and from what I've seen over the years, oftentimes it is easier for people to succeed with options 1 and 2. I don't mean to scare you off. If you're confident and thrive under your own directions, then go for it. It's definitely a viable option. Category number 4, when you create an online presence for your offline business. The big takeaway for brick and mortar businesses that were deemed non-essential and were shut down during this crisis is pretty simple. If you don't have an online presence in your business, you don't have a business. The US has roughly 30 million businesses. Thinking about how many people are feeling like their hands have been tied pierces my heart. They were forced to close, and watch it how the bills are piling up. Of course, there is government help, but talk to any business owner who was running a non-essential but so dear to their heart business. Each and everyone will tell you that no amount of help or government support is going to make up for it. They would just rather work. And guess who's working and even experiencing unprecedented growth? Amazon. They're hiring 100,000 people. What's the lesson here? 2 words. Get your butt online. Okay, that was 4 words. Let's make it 2. Get online. Create that website. Figure out how to sell stuff on it. And when the next virus or whatever else hits, you'll just put up an announcement like all the banks did. Don't come to our physical location, make all the payments from your phone. And then just like that, you'll keep your boat afloat. I hope that was convincing. Let's review what we've covered so far. First way to make money online is to become a corporate employee who works remotely. Second option is to become a remote employee for an online business that usually comes with more flexibility. Third option is to become a freelancer, but as I said, it's rather daunting. Fourth option that we've just discussed is to create an online presence for your existing physical business. In 2020, it is non-negotiable. Catch up before it's too late. And the last big online money-making category that I'm going to mention today is option number 5. You can start and run 100% virtual online business. Yes, you can, and honestly, you should. There are thousands of online business options and ideas, from e-commerce, which means selling stuff online, to Amazon FBA, which means selling stuff on Amazon, to affiliate marketing, which is a pretty effortless way to make money once you do the initial setup, to selling consulting services via Skype or Zoom, to creating an educational course and teaching it on Udemy or on your own platform, to running a YouTube channel or an Instagram account and making money from the ads. The options are truly, and when I say truly, I mean truly inexhaustible. Here's the idea that I'd like to emphasize in this video. Online business is the new reality of business. There is no way around it. So instead of ignoring it or resenting it, I invite you to embrace it. Remember option 1? I said you should talk to your boss. Well, that's the reason why. So you can have the flexibility and the opportunity to start your own location-independent, money-making, chutzpah-boosting, super fulfilling thing. Give birth to your own baby and explore the depth of your creativity and your greed. Okay, I'm just kidding. But it can be an adventure of a lifetime if you decide so. Maybe it's time you stop waiting for an employer to help you reach your career goals and become your own CEO. Get in the driver's seat of your life and start driving in the direction you've always wanted to. That's all I've got for you today. But before you go, leave a comment below. Tell me which one of those options appealed to you the most, if any at all. I would love to hear from you. If you found this video useful, then go ahead and like it. And if you know anyone who could put this information to good use, send them the link. They'll appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!
In order for you to get a better grasp of how it can be done, and with the explosion of social media, that's where the transactions, the money, and the opportunities are. Next option number 2, you can start and run 100%. You can start and run 100. You can start and run 100. You can start and run 100% virtual online business. If you know anyone who would put, and if you know anyone who could put this information to good use, send them the link. Whew. I think I got pumped.